It's too late now. I remember you and me, and how careless we could be.
All day and all night, we'd stay up, it felt so right. We were so young, we were so dumb. We would get drunk and then hook up. We were okay, we were alright, staying awake till the sunrise. We were in love, couldn't stop us, like a good drug, never run off. We'd hook up in my car, driving so far, play your guitar, you'd show me your art, let down our guards, think with our hearts, stare at the stars. We were never apart, drinking too young, way too much fun, out in the sun, or in when it's gone. Took you to prom, dance to our song, dance all night long till the lights come on. Now I remember everything, and how careless we could be, and how careless we could be, and how careless we could be. Nights, long fights, it felt right, we were alive. We would go out, we were so loud, we were so proud, we had no doubts. Weekends and weekdays, we'd spend our own way. We were careless, we were fearless, we were reckless, time was precious. We loved to waste time, whiskey and wine, drinking all night, asleep by your side. Finally alive, we would just drive, never arrive. Our journey was live, staying out late, testing our fate, running away. We live for today, young and so bold, never get old. Screw what we're told, we can't be controlled. Now I remember everything, and how careless we could be, and how careless we could be, and how careless we could be. How careless we could be.
It's too late now, I remember you and me, and how careless we could be.
Hey, Hi, gentlemen. It happened Memorial Day weekend. I'm not sure if it was the actual date, but 2020. And it's really, really sad. Here, let me pull up their faces here. Very sad case. Very, very. All right. Okay. On the top left, that's Brandon Rollins. In the middle is Kevin Stringfield. And this guy here is Damian Tillman. They were the ones that lost their lives. To this demon here, to the bottom right, this guy here, loud tats, his name is TJ. Now, oh boy, wait till I get into him. This here is Mary. Okay, that was his girlfriend. Oops, sorry. Hold on, I lost it. And the other guy is Robert Wiggins, which is Tony's brother. And these guys were what, in their 20s? These kids? So sad. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to do this really, really, really organized. If anybody's watching on other platforms like Facebook and all that, if no one's like, if you leave a comment and nobody's talking to you, it's because you can only see it on my main channel chat, which is Kit9168. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to my interview with her friend. And I'll get into that too here in a minute. And I have talked to Mary myself. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit. Okay. Now, if you see in my chat, I got a pinned comment there because we're going to watch Mary's interrogation. And this nice guy here, this attorney here, attorney lawyer, and his channel is Deep Dive True Crime. He has given me permission to review this, which is amazing. That is so awesome. Okay, and I want to show you his channel, which is the awesome channel, okay? He has body cam footage and jail calls from all these cases that I've never even seen. I mean, they're big time cases that I've never even seen anybody else have. But yeah, so sub up to him, check him out. It's a great channel. Okay, let's go back here. I'm going to stop this here for a sec. So sub up to him. There we go. I got it now. Yes, that's very nice of him. That's what I've been waiting for permission. I don't know if you heard me like 2 weeks ago. I was waiting to hear back. And I was just being really respectful because, you know, he paid for it. Okay, so we're going to start off with the interrogation, and I'm going to pause it every now and then. Like if anybody has a comment, you know, I'll answer, or I can chime in on something that, you know, like her friend has told me. So here we go. And Mary, you know what? Mary's so young. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do this first. Let's watch one of my videos to give you an idea here. Oh boy. Let's see. I made this video 3 years ago. Jeez.
Tonight and not good here at all, Jeff. The encounter between all of these folks in the past.
Very, very unfortunate, Keith. This is the site of the murder, a dirt road near a lake in a very remote section of Polk County here. Frostproof is a very small community where even one of the victims' families says they know the accused killers.
We knew TJ. We didn't know him personally, but we knew the Wiggins boys, and we never liked them.
Jessica Steenson cannot hold back her tears or her anger when talking about her boyfriend, Brandon Rollins' murder.
But we never knew They would ever do this.
Brandon Rollins' father came to the scene of his son's murder and held him as he died. Today, the family watched as Sheriff Grady Judd explained how Brandon Rollins, Kevin Springfield, and Damon Tillman were killed and who he believes is responsible. Cyril Rollins had nothing good to say about accused killer T.J. Wiggins.
It's the way they raise, you know what I mean? If they follow their father and mother, that's the way they're going to raise.
Brandon's mother says she's known T.J. Wiggins for most of his life.
He was always a rough kid, always in trouble.
Dottie Payton tells 8 on Your Side she suspected from the beginning who is responsible.
I had suspicion, means knowing. My son just was there at the wrong time. And
The family strongly suspects drugs are to blame.
They're drug heads, and they could have been high out their mind. Who knows?
Polk County Sheriff's Charities are now collecting money for the victims' families. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd telling 8 on Your Side, not only are they dealing with the deaths, they're now trying to deal with funeral expenses that they cannot afford. Polk County Sheriff's Charities collecting for that, and of course 8 on Your Side wants to help, so we will put information about that on WFLA.com. Reporting live in Frostproof, Jeff Patterson, 8 on Your Side.
Just awful. Thank you, Jeff. An earlier version of this story reversed the two pictures of the brothers. We regret any confusion that may have caused.
Okay, and this is the drone flying over the area. Look at that remote area. And the sad part is, you know, they knew him, and that Tony guy, he was into meth, okay? And that whole family is a problem, okay? As in criminals. And Tony shouldn't have even been out on the streets. He had over 200 felony charges on him. All right. I'll get into him in a minute. That guy is unbelievable. Okay, no, they were shot with a gun. All of them. Beat and shot. It was horrible. Just a horrible mess. Just horrible. I'll get into that. I want to get into Mary's thing here. Okay, here's her interrogation. I don't know. This is sad. And she's a mother, and I'm shocked that she would even involve herself in this. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I gonna be released soon?
Do not know. I'm just sitting in the hallway. I'll find out. I'll see if they make
Well,
a talk.
someone's been trying to find out. Two people's already sent 2 people, and no one's came back and told me anything.
As far as I know right now, you're still being detained.
Am I being charged?
You're being detained at this time.
If I'm not being charged, I would like to be released.
You're
If I'm not
you're
being,
not free to leave.
if I'm not being arrested for anything or
look.
being charged, I would like to be
Okay, I'll
released.
pass it on, but you're not leaving right now. You're not free to leave.
This is unlawful detainment.
No.
Yes,
No.
because no one's told me anything.
You get them to talk. You can't. Nobody can talk to you because you asked for a lawyer.
No, I asked, how the hell am I supposed to get a lawyer if I can't leave?
Right now, you get that whole title. Okay.
I've been here all day.
Well, there's nothing I can tell you right now. Okay. There's decisions being made.
Can I at least go outside for a cigarette? only choose first from
All right,
these.
let me get a female deputy. Hold on.
Okay, and I should say that she didn't directly have the gun and shot them, but she was there. Okay, and if I recall, I could be wrong. She bought the ammo that was put into the gun that killed these boys.
This is Detective Bowman with the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Today's date is July 20th, 2020. It is 2:16 a.m. This is in reference to Polk County case number 2020-27920. This interview is being conducted on Sarver Avenue in Lake Wales, and present with me is Mary. Mary, for the record, will you state your full name and your date of birth?
Mary Whittmore, July 7th,
Will you spell your last name, too?
Whittemore.
All right, Mary, will you raise your right hand for me? You swear from me, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put it down. All right, Mary, this is your home residence. This is your property out here. It's kind of unclear if it's got a designated numerical address, right? This is just kind of owned property out here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, Mary, we talked briefly, but I just kind of want to go over basically just an idea of your daily schedule for the last couple of days. Okay. We're out here investigating that triple homicide that's kind of going around town. The news is going around town. Okay. And we're just trying to put some pieces together. Okay. So kind of walk me through. We'll start with this. We'll start with Friday. So that would have been July. Let's see. So today's the 20th, and it's technically Monday morning. So 19th, 18th, 17th. So July 17th, Friday. Let's start Friday morning.
Friday morning, me and TJ wakes up.
You and TJ?
Yeah.
That's TJ Wiggins?
Yes.
Okay.
We wake up, our normal routines. We wake up, we smoke a cigarette.
Okay.
And we walk around the yard to see if anybody else is awake.
Yeah.
We come back to the trailer, we start our daily movies, whatever.
Okay.
We were here all day. Robert was at work.
Where does Robert work now?
He works, he's a contractor.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to look for you right now. I have his record pulled up, and I'm going to pull hers up real quick for you guys. Okay? All right. Tony's getting the death penalty, which I think is wonderful. Well, I don't mean it like that, people, but he shouldn't have even been out. He is a very dangerous man. It was just a matter of time before something like this was going to happen. Just saying. So, yeah, his brother and Mary, they're being charged too. All right. Why aren't they showing this? Okay, be patient. Let me look. Okay, I can't find it here yet. Why aren't they showing it? Okay, so they're being charged with conspiracy. She's being charged also with perjury. Let's see what else. So she's got 3 counts of murder, and then conspiracy, and then the perjury charges. How is everybody, by the way? Yes, he does. He thinks this is all a joke. I listened to his interrogation or whatever, and this guy is thinking this is all funny, joke. Okay, let's continue.
He, I don't really know how to explain it, but he works for someone that is contracted to go out to the orange groves, like pick the vines and.
Like right now, you said he was contracted by Ben Hill Griffin.
Yeah.
And so when you wake up, he's already gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
He leaves at like 5:30 in the morning.
All right. So you, TJ, are here. And Robert, that's TJ's brother, right? He lives in the other trailer, and he's already gone for work. Okay. So you stay here all day? You don't go anywhere? Okay. So all day, it's lunchtime. You don't go anywhere for lunchtime. Is that correct? Okay. All right. And then what time? So you're here when Robert comes home from work?
He gets off at 5:30, but he don't normally arrive until like 6:30.
Do you remember what time you got Friday?
Friday, I would say it was about 6:30 when he got
Okay.
home.
All right. Okay. And then when he got home, did y'all go anywhere?
I don't remember going anywhere Friday. And I don't remember TJ going anywhere.
Okay.
So as far as you remember, you and TJ never left this property Friday.
Okay. Would you remember what you did Friday night?
Friday night, we watched a few movies. The last movie I remember watching is Legendary with John Cena in it.
Okay.
And then after that, we turned off the TV and stuff and went to bed.
What time about was that?
When the movie got over, it was about 12:30-ish.
Okay. All right. And then nobody left the house in the early hours of the Saturday morning, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
None of us left.
Okay. All right. And so what did you do Saturday? Let's say Saturday.
We woke up. We did what we normally do in the mornings.
Right.
Like I explained Friday night.
Yep.
And then we stayed about in the afternoonish. I don't remember exactly what time.
Okay.
But we had gone to Sebring,
Okay.
picked up Robert. First, we dropped off Robert's son, TJ's nephew, at the nephew's mother's.
Okay.
Then we went and picked up Robert's girlfriend from her aunt's house.
Okay.
Then we went to their aunt's house, the boys' aunt's house, to see if we could find their cousin Dustin. When she said she wasn't, or he wasn't there, sorry. We went to his brother's house, the other cousin, Kyle, and he wasn't there.
Okay.
So we started heading back towards here.
Okay.
We stopped at the Dollar General over across from Town Star, grabbed cigarettes, and then we went to the Lake Wales McDonald's to get dinner.
All right.
And then we came home.
Okay, did you hear that part where she said they went to McDonald's to get dinner? After this happened, after they did this horrific crime, they went to McDonald's and ate. They found the receipt in the car, along with other evidence like DNA and stuff like that, because it was pretty bloody.
Okay. So, and was that dark when you came back for like cigarettes and McDonald's? Was it dark then?
It was after dark, yeah.
Okay. And then when you got back here, did you go anywhere after that?
No, sir.
Okay. Nowhere that night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, early?
No.
Okay. So while we're at it, let's talk about Sunday. What did you do? It's technically yesterday now. So so Sunday morning, do you remember?
Sunday morning,
So just
got up like
same.
and
Okay.
I stayed to everything. Popped in a movie. On the video.
Early. I mean, or what?
Yeah.
What time?
I think it was about like 8:30.
In the morning. Okay.
Popped in the movie just for a little noise.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I wasn't feeling good, so I went and laid down for a little bit.
Okay.
And no one really left.
No one left. Yes.
Me and TJ didn't leave.
Okay.
I know Robert went and helped his uncle pull that red truck over here from someone's house.
Okay.
Other than that.
All right. What about like last night? Like just a few hours
Last
ago? Yeah.
No one left.
No one left. So basically Sunday here, you're here all day too?
Yeah.
Don't go get food?
No, they've already gone out.
Okay.
We were out earlier that day.
All right.
Sunday.
Does TJ work?
Yeah, he's only part-time right now at the same job that Robert's working at.
Same contracting place?
Yeah, he's basically like a substitute. If someone calls out, he covers their spot.
And Robert's full time?
Robert's full time.
What days a week does he work?
He works Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday?
And did TJ work at all last week?
Last week, he worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay. All right. So just basically, so I'll recap. The only day that you left from Friday, Saturday, Sunday was Saturday. That's the only time anybody went out of the house, except for Robert going to work.
And Robert don't work Saturdays and Sundays, so he was here.
Okay. And you don't have another vehicle except the green truck. And that's really Robert's green truck, is that correct? Okay, and that's what, when y'all went to Sebring, did you take the green truck? Yes? Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. All right, Mary, listen, I don't have any other questions right now, but I appreciate you talking to me. Everything you told me today was the truth? Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, so I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. Well, I could be. She failed to tell them about the them going to that Dollar General, because right before they're going, with the time frame. So before they got murdered by TJ, they were at the Dollar General talking to one of the victims, and then shortly after that, he got killed. And she didn't tell law enforcement that in this interrogation.
That'll conclude the interview. It is 2:25 a.m.
What's that? Probably shouldn't be much longer.
Okay, I'm going to speed this up. Okay.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand your rights? Do you have any questions about your rights?
No.
Okay.
And I already made a statement to the last detective yesterday.
Mary.
No,
Just relax, please.
I am relaxing.
Listen, I want to tell you something, okay? Listen, you did make statements, but I want to explain what's going on. Are you aware of what's going on?
Yes, and it's very tragic, and I'm very sorry that it happened.
I understand that. And that, listen,
It has nothing to do with us.
listen to me, okay? You got to hear me out, okay? Do you have any kids? How many kids do you have?
That's none of your business.
Okay, you're right. It isn't any of my business. But here's what I was trying to explain to you.
I understand what you're trying to explain.
No,
You
you
don't
don't.
even have to say it. I already know
What
what
am
you're
I
going
trying
to
to
say.
explain?
That those parents
No,
lost their
I wasn't explaining that at all. Okay. What I was going to explain is if a similar thing happened to your kids, we would be doing the same thing and going to great lengths to do it. Okay? It's our job. It's nothing personal. I'm sorry that we had ruined your day by bringing you up here. However, we've got to dot every T, or dot every I and cross every T. That's it. It's not personal. It's nothing against Mary. It's nothing against anybody. It's us doing our job. And just like I just told you, if it was your kid, we'd be doing the same exact thing. Rest assured, I promise.
Like I said, I made my statement. It was recorded yesterday.
Yes, ma'am. And I have just a couple clarifying things. I'll try and make this as quick as I can. All right.
I'm going to have you sitting here in the cold.
Well, I apologize for that, but like I said, I'll try and make this as quick as I can. Okay. First things first. With your last name, is there an E after the T before more, or is there not? Because I've had it both ways. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
It is WHITTEMORE. Sorry, I'm getting a little anxious when it comes to my last name because I've had it misspelled all my life.
No, my last name is spelled T-A-N. It's not pronounced Tan. So I understand. I usually just don't even bother correcting people because half the time I won't talk to them again. So I understand the frustration of that, and I do apologize. Just to go over everything, what vehicle were you guys in when you went Friday to Sebring in the white Chevy? Is there anything unique about that Chevy? Tinted windows, stickers, a rusted hood, anything that sticks out about it? No tailgate. Okay. So you guys went down to Sebring, correct? And then you also guys then stopped at a dollar store, and it was Avon Parker's Sebring that was closed. When you guys went down to Sebring and dropped off TJ, who's your boyfriend, correct? No, I'm saying TJ's your boyfriend. It was his nephew that you dropped off. Well, your nephew, okay. But then while you guys were down there, did you stop at or try to stop at a store down there?
I tried to stop at a store, yes.
Was that Sebring or Avon Park? Okay. But it was closed. Okay. But then you guys did stop at a store in Frostproof, correct? Right by the Sunstar, Townstar. And then do you remember what you guys were going there to get?
We were gonna get dinner, but I don't know, me and TJ got in a little scuffle. Not really scuffle, but debate on what to make for dinner.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry.
I went to go grab something, Sandy could grab something else, so I put what I had in back and walked up.
Okay. So
to the truck.
you guys went to get dinner, but couldn't come to agreement what to eat for dinner, so they said, kind of screw it and walked out. Do you know if TJ bought anything?
I know he bought cigarettes and a bag of jerky.
Beef jerky? Okay. What about Robert? What did he buy? Do you remember?
Yes, he bought a beef fish.
Okay. Was there anyone else there that you remember while you guys were there?
I don't remember seeing anybody. Like I said, TJ had a disagreement on dinner. I put what I had in my hand back and I walked outside. After that, I don't know what happened inside.
Do you remember seeing any other vehicles in the parking lot?
I don't pay attention to all of that.
Okay.
Like, honestly, I don't pay attention. I was kind of irritated with TJ that night and just wanted to get in the truck.
Okay. And then after you guys left the dollar store, where did we go?
We were gonna head home, but then we all three reminded me that no one got anything from the store, so we turned around and went to McDonald's.
You remember where you guys turned around at?
Right there, right before West Frostproof Road.
Okay, so
That
right
little
before the
dirt.
jail.
Yeah, that little dirt road right there.
Are you driving?
No.
Where are you at?
I'm in the middle.
So it's a single cab truck?
Yes.
When you guys went first back on the road, when you went down to Sebring to drop off your nephew, where were you sitting in the truck?
I was sitting in the back.
Like in the back seat of the bed of the truck?
Bed of the truck.
Okay. And saying that truck doesn't have the tailgate, correct? Okay. And then once you guys turned around, you went back to 27 and then went north to which McDonald's? I know there's two on Whitfields. Highway 60 or Highway 27?
The one that was closest to Highway 27.
Okay. If you were to see that vehicle again, would you recognize it?
I don't know, there's a lot of white trucks out there with no tailgates.
Does that look like the vehicle that you guys were in?
Yeah.
Okay. And who owns that vehicle? If it's
Brandy, their cousin.
Is it so? It's TJ and Robert's cousin. Do you know if it's by it's just by marriage? Okay. And is it Brandy with an I or a Y? That's what was her last name. Do you know her last name?
I don't know if she has two last names. She carries her maiden name and her married name. I only know the married.
Anybody have any questions about this so far? Okay, here we go. Oh my God, there's my daughter. Alma. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, I just thought I'd check in with you guys, see if anybody had any questions. That's all. Because, like I said, I gotta pause it every now and then. And if there's anything you want me to clear up, I'll do my best to clear up.
What's the married name? Strickland.
No, wait. Arnold Strickland.
Okay. So is Arnold or maiden?
Arnold. That, yes.
Okay. Does she have any of them or buy them?
Who's her husband? Oh, I'm sorry.
Their cousin.
Do you know his name?
All I know is his first name.
You know what? I wonder if I could speed this up a little, because they seem to talk a little slow to me. Let's see.
And I know yesterday morning they did a search warrant at the properties. I just want to make sure I'm clear with these two. Which one is it that?
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about this house, okay? It was his dad's property, okay? He owns property, and there's just like trailers there. They have no running water there, you guys, okay? And they have no, they don't pay for garbage to be taken out. And yeah, it's really disgusting where they work. So yeah. And his dad's just as gross as him.
This is where you and TJ stay? Yes. Okay. And this one is Robert's with his girlfriend Shane just recently came back? Yes. Okay. And I understand Robert owns several firearms, is that correct? Do you know what types he owns?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked myself. Okay, I'm going to highlight your comment here. Yeah, she seems really agitated. Okay, and what was funny is I asked her friend if she did the hard drugs, and she told me no. Her friend would, not lie to me, you know what I mean? She's very honest. No, I'll get to that too, but because that's what the Wiggins family does. Okay, I better say allegedly. Everything I say is allegedly throughout this whole thing, okay, people? Okay, alleged. I'm going to put that down, and we'll continue with this here.
Okay, do you or TJ have any guns?
I had a little one, but I got rid of it.
What kind was that?
It was just a little, I don't pay, like I said, I don't know.
It was like a revolver or a semi-auto? Like an old cowboy gun? Like with the thing that spins? It wasn't like that? Okay.
Small.
You know what caliber it was?
No, I got rid of it.
Years ago? Okay. So you and TJ don't have any guns then, correct? Do you know if any of the other people out there, like their dad, aunt, uncle, if they own any guns? No.
Just Robert out there.
Okay. I'll show you this next video. Who do you recognize that as? That's TJ. Okay. And then, is that you there in the green shirt? Okay. Do you remember where that was?
That was
Broken. Do you know how long ago? It was back in like July 9th. Do you remember what you guys bought there? Okay. You bought 4 boxes of 9mm ammo. You remember why you guys were buying that? Okay. Do you know whatever happened to that ammo? Like they didn't find any other place.
After that, they
They were given to whoever you buying from. All right.
Oh yeah, and I should say, they're talking about ammo here, I think, and like I said, she bought the ammo, and Tony is a convicted felon, and he's had charges of the past having to do with guns.
Can I interrupt? Okay. I haven't talked to you. I was out at the house the other morning probably for 30 minutes, and then we got over here to my home. Okay. So I know what you just said. You're getting frustrated. Okay. Here's what I want to do. Here's what he wants to do. Here's what every single person that's working on this wants to do. Okay. And I think you want us to do it, honestly. I know what I want to do is put the person that killed these people in jail forever. Okay. Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, have you ever been in trouble?
juvenile rights with my mom and her that said there.
Which is, what, how old are you? 25? 20?
I think just
25 is not a bad guess. You should take that as a compliment anyway.
No,
what? But yeah, for about another 2 years, and then no female ever wants to turn 30.
Hey, I got 2 kids, and I'm proud of you both.
I'm glad. And I want you to think about those 2 kids as we talk about what we're fixing to talk about, okay? You're 27 years old. We're fixing to turn 27. Just turned 27. There's 2 paths we can take right now. And I want your kids to be what you're focused on right now when you choose what path you're going to take, okay? We know what happened. Robert's sitting on the other side as well. Okay? Robert just told us everything that happened. So, with that being said, you can be a witness or you can be a suspect, and that's as plain as day as we can make it. Okay? Go. That's your choice. And I hope you enjoyed seeing your 2 kids for the last time.
Excuse me, if you ever pull out my children again, I will have you arrested for that. Because you just threatened my children.
Yeah, she's very agitated here. I don't know why she is protecting this Tony guy, right? Because I don't know if she was already divorced or going through a divorce when she was with Tony. I'm not 100%. But I was thinking that Tony was just like what do you call that? A rebounder or whatever. I'm not sure. The silent parts here, I'm just going to go past. Oh, here we go. Hey, wait. Hey, this is crazy. Is that guy in the room with her TJ? Let me look. I think TJ's in there with her. I could be wrong. But they have whoever blocked out. Oh, wow. Yep, that's Tony. I didn't know. See, I haven't watched this whole thing. This is like all new with you guys. Wow. See, now, if you're an innocent person, this is just my opinion. Okay. Okay, I can't say 100% it is TJ, okay? But more than likely it is him because same hair and all that. But if you were innocent, you would be talking. You wouldn't have this weird silence right here. In my opinion, that is. Okay, I was wrong. That looks like his brother Robert. Hey, I was wrong. That was Robert. Oh, there you go. It says it right here. See, they're not talking. That says a lot. Look at this.
When? No, I want to know.
Okay.
No. Did you not? Yes, I did not. Am I under arrest? Am I being charged with anything? Can I go home? When can I go home? When? No, I want to know. Sir, I just want to know when I can go home. No one's fucking answering my questions.
You got a water already? Is that right, though? You got this? Bangalore?
When is my lawyer?
There's not a lawyer coming up here.
I asked for one.
We're not talking to you because you asked for a lawyer.
I understand.
So we don't call them to come up here. Who's your lawyer?
I don't have one.
Okay, so what happens is whenever you leave, then you get one. But we're not going to talk to you about the case. We're trying to figure that out now, so I'm going to let you know in a few minutes. Okay? Okay, just give me a couple minutes to figure it out. Is that okay? Or you want different kind of chips? Is that all right?
Okay.
two search.
All right, let me get a female deputy. Hold on.
Okay. So check out his channel. He has some good stuff on there. He has all of Tony's stuff in there. A bunch of different cases, you guys. So that's a good channel. All right. All right. Oh, you're subbed to him? Good. He's super nice. He gave me permission to review that. I only asked for that one to review, though. You know. I don't believe this girl was raised like... No, she wasn't. See, that's just it. I think because of her going through her... it's no excuse, I know. Her going through a breakup, a divorce, you know, with her husband, and she turned to somebody like that. Maybe he was giving her some kind of attention. I don't know. But she did buy the ammo, and her and Robert were in the car. Okay? TJ's brother. Now, from my understanding, Robert, allegedly, is kind of slow and will do anything his brother tells him to do. He told him to get rid of the guns. That I do know. Yeah, there's a lot to this case. Oh my God. I quit covering because there hadn't been anything new. Oh, I'm going to say this. Tomorrow, for TJ, it's a capital murder case, so death penalty. Jury selection begins. Okay, this is an interview I had a while back with her friend, and this was interesting. She said really good things about her. I mean, Mary don't seem like a bad person, unlike what she was running around with. And this is her friend, Suzanne. She lived with her just before this happened, from my understanding. I don't know, something like that.
So see if that'll work.
Did it work?
Okay, there we go.
Hey,
Yep.
how you doing?
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you watch my channel?
I just started watching it because I wanted to get an update on Mary Whittmore as far as her case is concerned, and I came across your video where you were kind of scanning through her Facebook page.
Yeah.
And everything, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, Mary's got pictures of herself holding my daughter in the pictures, and I can tell you the truth right now.
Yeah.
That's when that's when I first met Mary. I met Mary about a year ago. She was a mutual friend with now my husband. At the time, he was my fiance, and she was married to a mutual friend of my husband's, which is her ex-husband. His name is Daryl Sanders.
Okay.
And
oh, something happened.
And everything. Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay. So whoops. So after that, like they were friends for years, and then we had her husband staying with us here where we live at for a while. We had to kick him out because he wasn't contributing to the household. So that's when, my husband came across her on Facebook again, and they started talking as friends. So, with me being married I was like, okay, why is there a woman talking to him? Who's this woman? And she goes, oh, my name's Mary. I'm a friend. Your husband and I have been friends for years. I was like, okay. So she had invited me and my husband down to where she lived at with her mother, which her mother lives in the same town as me, but she lives like right over the train tracks. And when I got there, it was her friend Heather that you saw in the picture with their tongue sticking out. That was her friend Heather, and her mom. What's that? Oh yeah, her mom works for a company called Ajero. So when I got there, her mom was leaving, and we were just hanging out for a bit. And at that time, she was not dating TJ at all. She was dating somebody else by the name of Jarrett Reed, and he was staying. It was Mary and Jarrett staying with her mother. Then what had happened was, like I explained in the email, her boyfriend at that time that she was with, he ended up getting in trouble by the law because he took her personal vehicle and went to go do a drug deal with it, and he eluded the police. So around that time, she was going through a very rough time because after that, her mom had just turned around and did an eviction notice on her because her mom owned the home, and she's got like two kids, two kids, a son and a daughter. And she came over riding her bike. Mary did. Mary came over one day, and my husband and I, we were outside, and she's like, I got nowhere to go. My mom's kicking me out. The kids are going with their father. And I said, okay, let's talk about this. And my husband's like, listen, we felt bad for her. We took her in. She was doing really good. Like she's the type of person that always had a good ear to her. If something was bothering you, you could just sit down and talk to her, and she just listened. That's all what she did. I helped her get a job where I used to work at in Sebring, Florida, at a place called Save a Lot, and she was only there for a week um, because she didn't have a vehicle. She um, I think she had a driver's license at that time, but we only had a bicycle because my husband and I, we don't have a vehicle ourselves. And she rode a bicycle from here to the store, which was only a 10-minute bike ride. She started complaining to me that it was too far of a bicycle ride. And I said, well, the choice is yours. You can either stay with this job and have money in your pocket, or just if it's not you, just quit. So she ended up quitting, and after a while, that's when she started to go a little bit downhill. Where while she had a boyfriend in jail, she would bring just strange men into our home around my daughter. So I knew around that time she was starting to get to be like a little bit on the depressed side and looking for that love and companionship. And um I even was nice enough to turn around and let her be a bridesmaid of my own wedding. And I got her dress, the things that she needed for it, you know, because I knew as a friend, she was going through a rough time and everything. And she helped us out. She even helped babysit my daughter. Um, when my husband and I needed like a date night or whatever, I said, "Hey, Mary, can you watch Molly for a few hours for us?" She's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And she always loved my daughter. Like my daughter was her world. Her nickname she gave to my daughter was her sweet little peach.
Oh,
So yeah, so my daughter always called her Aunt Mare and everything. And then as she started having different men come to my home, it got worse for her because you know um it got to the point where she was putting a strain on mine and my husband's engagement. And one day while I was gone, and I didn't think she would do this, but I was gone. I went to go try on my wedding dress, and she kind of made a few advances towards my husband.
oh,
And I came home from my wedding dress fitting, And my husband's like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And I had my daughter and I put her down and we're talking outside and he's like, listen, she's made several, like a couple advances towards me and everything. And it just, I kind of, few times I let it slide, but this time I was just like, no, I can't deal with this. And that's when I had to kick her out because it was getting worse to where my husband was going to call the wedding off. And I said, we took you in out of the kindness of our hearts. I'm trying to help you in getting on your feet so you could be on your own. I said, I understand you're struggling with it. I said, but I can't have this in my home. So I had to kick her out of my home. And then one day around the time of my wedding, it was like she shows up and I just had a little bit of a grudge towards her, just a little bit. And because she's made several threats to call state government on me. And I turned around and I told her to leave. And at that time, when I told her to leave, that was when she was just started dating TJ Wiggins. Um, and I saw him come out of this white pickup truck. Comes out and he starts circling around, and then he started folding his hand, like crossing his arms, and he kept eyeballing me. And I told her, you know, I said, you got to go because I felt bad vibes off of him in the first place. And I was like, I can't. I said, listen, I wish I could talk to you more, but I can't. My husband has crossed paths with TJ before. My husband has crossed paths with Robert, his brother. Um, they're known to be women beaters, and things like that. I mean, and that's coming from a person that is a child, like a mother to Robert Wiggins' kids. So, and it's been crazy, and it scares me because Mary's not known to be a bad person. She's not. There's an ounce of good in her. But when TJ came along, that's when she started acting funny, where it started to drugs, where it started as marijuana, and then from marijuana, it went a downward spiral to meth. He dragged her into those things, and it's scary because around that time when that happened, that's when the three boys showed the incident with the three boys. And my husband and I, we saw it in the newspaper about the three boys being killed here. And we're not that far from Frostproof. We're not. We're about a 45-minute drive. And next thing you know it, that weekend after, my husband just turns white as a ghost. And he's looking at his phone. And I said, what? I said, don't tell me. And next thing you know it, I saw the picture of Mary, TJ, and Robert. And I thought it was photoshopped. So I started doing my investigation, looking through the news channels, and sure enough, in every one, her name was brought up. And I kind of got emotional because this is somebody that I trusted around my daughter. This is somebody who's a parent themselves and has children of their own. And it kills me as a parent because from one parent to another, I feel for those kids just like you in that video. I feel for those kids because she's missing a birthday, she's missing a holiday, she's missing them grow up. She's going to miss them for if they're graduating from 8th grade, if they're graduating from high school, she's going to miss all that because of somebody else's mistake.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I said, she's not a bad person at all. She really isn't.
It just getting involved with that TJ and meth did it, huh?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
You can tell he's bad news. Very scary. When I looked up his record, I couldn't believe it.
230 convictions, and they all started at the age of 12. And you're like, okay. And I thought my county where I live in Highlands County, Florida. I thought my county was corrupted. It's like the whole system is corrupted. It's like you let somebody out like that. You let a monster out like that. Why would you? Why around and just let him roam the streets, knowing that he could just out of the blue, 1 minute he's fine, and next minute he snaps completely. So
He did more than just snap. I'm telling you. So Mary, how long did you know Mary?
I've known Mary for about 2 years.
She has 2 kids, not 3.
If I remember, I saw she could have 3 because I thought I saw 2 because they used to come over here and they used to hang out and have play dates with my daughter here for her visitation. There was one time, truthfully, where the father of her children, his name is Will Wheaton, he showed up here and they got into an argument, and he just took the car seat, both like all the children's car seats, and threw them at her. And I had to step outside and I said, listen, I live in an apartment complex, so I had to step outside and be like, listen, you're not going to argue here. If you're going to argue, you take that somewhere else. And he said a few choice of words to me, and Mary stepped in and goes, listen, you don't have to be disrespectful towards her. They're being kind enough to take me in when I had nowhere else to go. And my husband had to step in and say, listen, that's it. If he can't respect what we're trying to do here, then you shouldn't be seeing him here at our house. You got to go somewhere else and meet him. So, um, I mean, like I said, at the time she had a boyfriend that was in jail. They talked about getting married at some point, but it didn't work out. And then while he was in jail, she was she was kind of like seeing other men and everything, and she was bringing them here. They would hang out, and then after that she would leave. So, and she mostly either finds them in public or on dating apps like Plenty of Fish and everything.
Wow, that's crazy. So after her and her husband got divorced, and obviously he got custody of the kids, right?
No, like the kids that she has now don't belong to Daryl. They don't. They belong to um her the original father is Will Wheaton. So they have custody of the kids right now. He's Will Wheaton has them.
Oh, okay.
So
from there on, she kind of like went downhill.
She did.
Losing her kids. Well, no, she got visitation though, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well,
Last
as for the picture of your little girl, I will fix that, okay? I thought that was one of her kids.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even posted about her on Facebook on my personal page, and I said, listen, before that she wasn't really a monster at all. Like, she wasn't at that time when I met her, and she was just like, oh, Susan, hey sis, let's go do this and let's go do that, and I'm like, yeah. And then as soon as she got here, it's just, she was fine, and then it took like a turn for the worst. And sometimes I told my husband, I said, I wonder what would have happened if we would have let her stay here a little bit longer. You think she would have fixed herself? And my husband's answer was like, if she didn't meet up with TJ, yeah, she would have done really well for herself, you know.
What a shame. I bet you were in shock to see that, huh? On the news.
It brought me and my husband shock, because this is somebody that my husband has been friends with since he was 18. And it was like they had the type of close bond that him and Mary had, was a brother and sister type of thing, where she saw him as this like annoying little brother, so to speak, but they joked around like, I wish I had, like, I think I deleted them after I stopped talking to her. I even did TikTok videos where her and we were sitting next to each other, and we're just doing the sound clips and everything, and we had a really good time. She was even nice enough to, help me with my arrangements for my own wedding. And it's just, for her to change in a matter of like months or whatever and try to wedge herself between me and my husband, it was like I thought, what did I do wrong for her to turn around and do that? Or if she saw me a threat because of the fact my husband was marrying me, or out of jealousy, she would something that she wished that she could have had.
Oh, crazy.
So I mean, it is. It is. It's just like I said, Mary's a good girl. She really is. But it's the people, the company that she brings along beside her that drags her down with her.
Well, you pretty much know those boys then that murdered Brandon, Kevin, and Damien, and they're bad news around there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there were times where Mary always had my back. She always did. And she would make sure that if I go to the store, she even went with me so that way I didn't travel alone with my daughter. And we just talked in the store and we would always come home. And my husband would be like, "Oh great, they're plotting. The women are in the house plotting." And her and I we laughed. Like I have so many good memories of her that it's just looking at Mary in a jail photo. It's like you're trying to tell yourself it's real, but your mind doesn't want to accept that fact.
Especially if she wasn't that type of person. But meeting up with that TJ, how long were they together before this happened?
Okay, so my husband and I we got married October 5th, 2018, and she yeah, she got together with him around the time my husband and I we were getting married. That's when she started being around him. And how she met him was through Robert
Oh
Wiggins'
my God, here I am.
baby mother, as she was staying with her after we.
Did you guys hear anything I said? Oh my God, I've been talking and talking. Okay, I just showed his prison record, and I'm telling you that. So when he got out of prison, that's when she met him, Mary, that TJ guy. And mind you, these charges here are nothing compared to everything else he's done, and he's only did a total of what? 5 years in prison. I'm sorry, I can't believe I was muted. Oh, I'm sorry. So, anyways, Susan, from my understanding, she told me, I talked to her about a month ago or so, that she's been getting threats because she talked to me. I don't know if it's coming from TJ's side or whose side, or I don't know. That's what she told me.
Had picked her out. She was still living in the same complex in the back, and they were hanging out together in that same apartment and everything, and I guess they just hit it off. So I wasn't expecting her to like move so far away, especially that her mom lives down here, her kids live down here. Um, she has some friends that live down here. I wouldn't have expected her to move into and see. This is I play the conference of what Grady Judd was saying over and over and over again, and I'm like, a compound. You were in a compound where you were running off of you were completely off of the grid, and then you know they find it's just like, how are you able to survive all those months out there living off of generators in a trailer in a compound
And no running water.
And no running water either.
Yuck. That whole family's dysfunctional. They all look scary. They all should be locked up.
Yeah, my husband has crossed paths with TJ once before, and they just exchanged looks, and that's all it was. And my husband said they did have words, and it's just, my husband's that type of person where he could read people right off the bat, and he turned around and told TJ, listen, I could tell right off the bat you're a bad person. And my husband didn't like him.
Your husband told him that?
Yeah, and
Wow.
he said right to his face, I don't like women beaters. Because
Okay.
that's what TJ is. He's got domestic battery on his record and everything. So
Did he hurt Mary at all? Did he beat her?
I don't know if he would hurt Mary, but if he's the type that would just snap on somebody faster than you could shake a whip, I wouldn't put it past him.
Wow. So
it's
that store that they're at, is that a dollar store, Safeway store, where they were stocking?
Yeah, down here we have Family Dollars and Dollar Generals, and we do have one Dollar Tree down here, like one or two of them, and that was a Dollar General they went in. And here's the thing: if you pay attention closely to the footage, you see Mary go in, and as she goes in, I noticed that she kind of like scopes the place out a little bit and then leaves.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah.
She came back in though.
Yeah.
Which
and I just wish that day I was a fly on the wall in that Dollar General, because then you could hear you'd be able to hear what they're talking about. And it's insane, because as soon as the one guy left to go in the truck and he went to go meet up with his buddies at the lake, TJ and Robert were like, okay, they're going to the lake. And honestly, in my opinion, if I was Robert and I was the driver of that vehicle, I would have questioned TJ. Granted, if he was my brother, I don't care. I would have questioned my own brother, and I would have said, why are we going to the lake?
Yeah, I know.
I would have questioned it. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I'll listen. You want to go somewhere? There's got to be a reason why you want to go there. And then it's like, all because he got mad at Kevin because of a truck deal. Like, where's my truck? Where's my truck? You sold the engine out of my truck. Like, that just, and if Kevin doesn't know, Kevin had to be mind blown, because he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So from the sounds of it, TJ was high that night.
He had to be high that night
to do something like that.
Yeah.
Was Mary sitting in the car, or?
Okay, like I said, I've been listening to the whole press conference. It's on YouTube and everything, and he says that Grady Judd said that TJ was the first one to get out of the vehicle, and then after that, then he went around one of the vehicles. He drops a he drops a magazine on the ground, can't find it, and then when he goes to open the door, it's just like one of them falls out and he finds the magazine. So, you know, and it's kind of scary too at that point, just picturing it like a whole massacre in your head. And I feel bad for the father, and if he's going to be watching this video, I am so sorry for your loss. And you know, my prayers are with you. I mean, I'm a parent, and just trying to think about that. If that happened to my own child, I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I don't know what I do. You know, and it's scary too, getting a phone call from your own child of saying, "Dad, help me, Dad, help me, help me." His last words.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
It was.
Did you know Brandon, Damien, or Kevin?
No, I don't know. I don't know Brandon. The only one who I know personally is Mary. And like I said, I've been trying to dig a little bit further of what went on with, you know, her hearing and everything. I know that they were doing a court order for her to do an interview with a private attorney that they got her and everything. So I just hope she does the right thing and speaks up. I know she loves TJ, but the thing is he's hindering her more than he can help her.
Well, yeah, and he's getting the death penalty for this.
Yeah, and the thing is if she doesn't speak up and say something, then she follows along with it as well. And it's like trying to trying to grasp this fact because you're losing a friend because of what they got themselves involved in. It's like it's like you really want to don't want to go there, but you have to sometimes.
Have you reached out to Mary to talk to her?
I've tried on several occasions and everything. So, but I am gonna try to see if I could get through with her and say, hey, listen, um, I know we had our differences, but I think you need somebody to talk to right about now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if her mom talks to her or anything like that. I don't know if right now, I think because of COVID, they have like visitation on hold. So, and I want to tell her how her little peach Molly is doing. So, my husband, I'm not going to force him. He's on the fence of whether or not he wants to.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
because he's known her longer than me.
you guys sound like really good people, and it sounds like Mary was at one time. And I'm just saying, because you got to see both sides of it in a sense to get to know the people. And maybe if someone like you would contact Mary and talk to her, maybe she will turn on TJ. You know, he's
I
not doing nothing for her.
I want her to, honestly, because like I said, he's hindering her more than he can help her. And at this point, the only way to help herself is to break herself away from TJ and say, I'm sorry, you know, I'm against you and I need to do what's best for me. I have children waiting for me on the outside. And it just to think about it, even if she's still in there and they're by the time they're teenagers, I wouldn't want any kid to grow to hate their own parent, but I could see that coming for her if she doesn't help herself in the long run.
Yeah,
So,
very sad situation.
it is, and everybody's like, oh well, they label her as, like, I've seen all over YouTube now. They have her labeled as a monster, and the only one who is able to say, listen, there's there's got to be another side to her before TJ. If somebody would speak up, now would be the time. I came across your channel with my husband, and I said, see, maybe maybe she sees another side of Mary like I do. So
I
you
did.
know,
And I think I said that in one of my videos. I find it hard to
yeah,
believe. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if any of her other friends would speak up for her. Like her friend Heather, she always says Heather is her best friend. So she has her on Facebook, and that was the girl with the glasses that you saw standing next to her.
Yeah.
Um, her mom lives here in Sebring. She lives in a trailer home that was given to her by her family, and that's where Mary was living at. And it was like out in the mid, kind of like out in the middle of nowhere. So you needed a car just to get to the store where they were at. So I mean, it was great when she was here. There were times where she slept out in our living room, so my husband would walk right past her, and it would be funny because she'd go to him, she'd go, "What are you looking at?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not looking at anything," and they start laughing, and I'll just listen on the other wall, and I'll just start laughing in the bedroom, and she goes, "Oh, what's the comment from the peanut gallery over there?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "I'm just listening to you guys just joke back and forth, and that's about it." So, um,
How long?
and it, excuse me.
I'm sorry. How long did she live with you?
Um, she was here. Okay, my daughter was 9 months old. Uh, yeah, 9 months old when she met her. So I'd probably say she was here for about uh 11 to 12 months because I've known her for about a year or two.
Yeah, she was there a long time. So you
Yeah,
really got to get to know her. And there
yeah,
is,
I did. I got to know her a little bit. Yeah,
and there, if she lived with you, you got to know her more than most people and what she was dealing with. And then once she met this creep, TJ, she just fell apart, it sounds like.
yeah. And the thing is like with her too, when she was living with me, if something was bothering her, whether it was a guy, she would always get a guy's perspective on it from my husband. So he would always tell her, "Listen, my husband is brutally honest. He's straight to the point, doesn't sugarcoat things. That he just gets to the point." And he goes, "Listen, this is how you have to do it." And um, she got the idea of it, um, and was able to tackle her own problems after she got advice from my husband. So I didn't care whether or not she talked to my husband for advice or to give suggestions. Like sometimes the suggestions that she had weren't to my liking, but I still listened to what she had to what she had to say. So
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So I mean, I want to reach out to news channels and say, "Hey, listen, she's not like this at all. She really isn't. It's like I said, misery loves company. So if they're miserable, they're gonna bring Mary down with them.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no way around it."
Are they still talking about it on the news there? Because I
They
just
still
did an
talk about
update.
it. Yeah, they still talk about it.
You do? Okay.
They still talk about it. And last time I heard, I think they were taking it to trial. So unfortunately, I can't be there, and because of COVID down here, everything's done virtually. So I'm gonna check online to see if after her trial what they plan on doing with her. I hope it's not the death sentence. I really hope it's not with her because she's so young. So
Yeah, she's what, 26?
yeah,
Yeah,
26.
crazy. Just a
Oh
baby.
yeah.
To me, just a baby.
Oh
I'm a
yeah, she's still a baby. Mary's still a baby. And of course, here's the thing, because I know this is typical of Mary. They turned around. Grady Judd said at one point that she started talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I bought him the round." When he brought that up, when she admitted, said, "Yeah, I bought those gun rounds and everything
oh, she
from
did.
Walmart." Yeah, she admitted it, and
Oh,
and Grady Judd was like, "Listen, um, we saw that too. We have the surveillance for that. We have the receipt. The receipt was left in the vehicle." And I'm sitting there like, "Oh my God, Mary, what are you doing?"
oh, yeah, that's where they get the conspiracy also.
Oh my goodness.
That's
And
crazy.
then
I forgot about
and,
that.
oh yeah, and then she goes, oh yeah, we were at McDonald's the night that those three boys got killed. They were at the McDonald's. Okay, they ordered 10 double cheeseburgers and 2 McChickens. Now I know the 2 McChickens are from Mary because she always ate those 24/7 here. But I was sitting there, I was like, why would you go to McDonald's right after you killed somebody? And
Oh, yuck.
oh yeah, and then TJ tells both of them we weren't there.
Yeah.
Like
I can't
it's
recall. How long were they on the run or in hiding, I should say, before
they
they
were in
found them?
they were in hiding. Okay, because like I kicked her out in 2018 from my home, so I'd say about 2019, about 2 years, about a year, maybe two.
No, after the murders.
Yeah,
Where did they went in hiding, didn't they? To a compound,
yeah,
right?
yes, to compound, yes.
And it only took what, a couple weeks for them to find them, or I'm trying to recall.
I mean, yeah, I mean they were there, they were hiding out for a few days, and then Robert takes the vehicle that they were in. Robert takes that vehicle back to the family member he borrowed it from, and they saw red mud on the vehicle, and the relative said, I thought you were going to Avon Park or Sebring. Now here's the thing, to my knowledge, the only ones who she knows in Sebring are me and my husband, her friend Heather, her mom lives in Sebring, and I believe her kids live here in Sebring, or they probably could live in Avon Park. So that's the only reason why she could be down here. Um and
Well,
then and then after that, like, Robert takes the vehicle to a car wash, and the three of them wash off the evidence, which I could see the tampering side of that. But I come to find out too that Mary also helped TJ and Robert put the bodies in the back of the truck, and I'm like,
oh my
and
God.
then helped him dispose the weapon, and I'm like,
Oh,
Mary, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it's like her fingerprints are all over that gun.
what was she thinking?
And
They had to be high on meth to do something like
she
this.
had to be.
Yeah.
She had to be, because when she was here with living with me and my husband, she was never on drugs. Never. She was she was sober.
That's
My
sad.
husband and I, we do not allow meth users in our home. As soon as we see the first signs of meth, we're like, I'm sorry, we can't have that around my daughter. We can't.
Yeah, your
So
daughter's precious, by the way. Your
thank you.
daughter's precious.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. My daughter was like 9 months old when Mary was holding her in those pictures. She she is now three. My daughter's now 3 years old. So, and she asks us about Mary a lot, and she goes, Aunt Mare Mare, Aunt Mare Mare, and I'm like, I can't tell her that yet. I can't tell her because she's only 3 years old. So
Yeah.
you
So
know,
what does your husband think about all this? His good friend
what
doing
does
this or being a part of
what does
this?
my husband think, babe? What do you think of Mary doing all this?
I mean, a close
He
friend.
doesn't know. It's like that's kind of like his sister.
Yeah,
And
you're saying.
when he first saw the pictures, he turned, like I said, he turned white, and he just dropped his phone. And I said, "What? What?" And I pick it up, and I was like, "Mary." And then I looked at the all the articles. I was like, "No, no." And I had to stop myself. I was like, "No way. This is a dream. Let me pinch myself." And he goes, "No, she got herself in with those three boys." I was like, "Oh, great." I was like, "Oh my god." And then when Grady Judd was going through the process, I was like, "Oh my god, Mary." And she was like, "Yeah, I was at the Dollar General. Yeah, I bought him the gun rounds." And then Mary realizes, okay, she's incriminating herself, and then afterwards shuts right up and says, "I want a lawyer." And I'm like, "Oh my god, Mary, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's it's just insane. I would have said I want a lawyer right off the bat. Or
Yeah.
turn around, or turn around and say, he forced me into it. I could see him forcing her, honestly, because he seems the type. So he could have turned around and told her, "Listen, you're going to do this or else."
Yeah, he's very scary. And after looking up his record like I did, I don't know why that man was walking the streets. I mean, like you said, corruption, but people that afraid of him, do they have that power, that family? Because his dad's bad news too.
Yeah, my husband saw that video too, where right after TJ got picked up for the murder of those 3 boys, uh, I think my husband said a couple of days after, his father got picked up.
Yep, I did a video on that too.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was just
See all 4 of them? Look at all
I
4
was
of
like,
those
oh
people.
my god.
They were all wigged though. What's wrong with those people?
Mary, when you start going through skimming through her Facebook a little bit more, you see she was a very pretty girl. She really was.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
There were times here where she would turn around and she'd go, "Hey Susan, don't get mad at me, but can I borrow your makeup so I could get all dolled up?" And I'm like, "No, go ahead. My makeup's at your disposal." And she would turn around and put eyeshadow on, eyeliner, the works. And I'm like, "Oh, look at you. Where are you going all snazzy and dolled up?" She goes, "Oh, I'm just because." I was like, "Okay." And then there were times when she was with her boyfriend Jarrett, she would get dolled up for him to go see him on a jail visit. And I'm like, "Oh, look at you looking all nice. Where are you going?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go see Jarrett for a little bit." I'm like, "Okay." Because where I live right down the street from Highlands County Jail. So it was about a 5-minute walk. So she walked from here to the jail, and she just sat in front of a screen and on the phone talking to her boyfriend Jarrett at the time. Then I don't know if they took in pictures of her tattoos yet. On one of her arms, she has like the logo of the male buck with the doe in the shape of a heart, and it says Jarrett's name and her name on it, and the date they got together.
I seen that. I seen that.
I was there with her the day she got it done, because that very same day, I got a tattoo of my daughter on me done the very same day.
Okay.
So, because everybody's like, "Oh, well, prove it that you know this girl." I'm like, "Okay, here you go. There's pictures of her holding my daughter. Here's something with me with her getting her tattoo done, and I got mine done on the same day." So, you know, because you got some people that are just about, the publicity about it, and they pretend to be friends with her, but then you got her true friends that know what she's like. Like I knew right off the bat what bothered her the most, what she was happy about, and everything. Like she even liked the fact of mine and my husband's company, just sitting out here and hanging out with her and talking and everything. Like she had her own bed and she sat here on the bed and we would sit on the bed with her and talk to her and everything. We were even nice enough to when she moved in, she got her kids like this small little white puppy. She named it Snow. And that puppy got along with my Jack Russell that I have here. They were playing and everything. So um which she was very grateful about. And I told her that really wasn't a problem at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, um, she's that type of girl where she does not like being alone. She gets very, very lonely.
Was that why she went from man to man to man like that? Like when her boyfriend
Yeah.
got locked up?
My husband and I, we think that's the reason why she jumped from man to man to man, was to find that companionship. Not only that, for somebody to be loyal to her, um, and she wanted that company, and she wanted that love from them. So we think that's what she wanted.
Wow. It's crazy.
Mhm.
But I do my best to cover cases. Now this is high profile. And if
Right.
you watch my videos, you know I don't look for attention. I don't do that. I just put out
No.
information about different cases, but certain ones I'll do updates on. Now, like you seen, I did that one. She was in court February 2nd. I like to put out facts, so I wait till I see the record. But he has,
Right.
I think it's March 12th. I'm going to see what's happening with him. So I'll do my best. And you know what? I can contact you privately with things too. Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that also.
I mean, I'm not that type where I don't mind being open with the public and everything and speaking like this because, you know, at least if they get to view your videos, at least they know what Mary was like, coming from somebody else's perspective and say, okay, well, she was a friend of Mary, so she knows what she was like before Tony Wiggins got a hold of her.
Yeah,
So
I think that's really an important part of it too. I always wonder how one person, people say that that's not them, and then something horrible like this happens. What happened in between that time? You know what I mean? What led up to it? A good person to do an evil act like that.
and I think Tony's the type of person to be very manipulative. Just looking at him, I know right off the bat where I'm like, okay, he probably manipulated her to go and do that with him. Like, you know what I mean? Like sit there and be like, okay, well, you need to do this with me, and that's that. And I just wish that night she would have just turned around and got on the phone with me and my husband, and we could have found her help. And she would, we tried to as much as we could, and she tried looking for help for herself. Now she would have called us that night of the whole massacre before it even happened. She would been like, guys, I'm in the worst way, and TJ's not acting right, and I need help. And my husband and I, we would have gotten together and we would have found somebody to help her out of that situation, and that would have been prevented. It would have all been prevented.
Yeah. I wonder if it was premeditated. Obviously, no, it had to be.
If it was premeditated, like I think it was because for him to sit there and keep repeating the same thing over and over again, that had to be like brewing inside his mind.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden,
it could be premeditated even up to 5 minutes before it happens. I mean, look at they were stalking Damien at that General Dollar store.
yeah, like he was just sitting. And the thing is like Frostproof. From what I found out, I've never lived in Frostproof, but from what I heard from Frostproof, especially with Grady Judd, like it's a small little town of 3,500 people, which is not much if you look at it. And it's like everybody knows everything and everybody knows your business.
Yeah.
So the clerk in that store knew Damien, and he probably knew TJ and Robert too. If he worked in that area, then he's from that area. And Damien was just talking to the store clerk and said, "Oh, we're going fishing." And it looked like on the video that TJ was having a suitable conversation with him. And then after they left, that's when he must have told, Robert, get in the truck, we're going to the lake.
Yeah.
And like I said, I would have questioned his butt at that point and been like, why are we going to the lake? Like, and I would have said no. I would have been like, listen, no, if we're going to Avon Park and Sebring, then we need to get there because I'm borrowing this vehicle from somebody else.
Crazy.
And Robert is so young, 21, and the only thing he has on his record is a misdemeanor, and now he just ruined the rest of his adult life.
Well, yeah, and he got out on bail, and I think it was in August.
Yeah.
But then he got locked back up because he was talking to his brother on the phone in code. They were talking in code.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is crazy and everything. And Robert, before he went up there with his brother, Robert used to turn around and live here where I lived at, and it was him, his baby mother, and the kids. And I remember when his baby mother came running to my door one day and she's pounding on the door. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she goes, you need to call 911. And I was like, why? She goes, Robert took my kids. He took off with them. And I was like, okay. So she called 911. And my husband and I, we stayed out there with her until the cops arrived. And when they finally showed up, um, they they questioned her and everything, and then the Robert finally comes back with the kids, and it's just it gets you mad because it's like you argue with the mother of your child, and then you take the kids without her knowing, like she's going crazy and everything, and my husband and I were trying to calm her down, and then an hour later he beats up on her, and me and my husband, we look down on that. We do, because I don't condone that. I was in two abusive relationships myself, so as a survivor of that, I don't deal with that too well. So when my husband saw him and he's standing outside,
Oh, there I go again, talking away. I was on mute. Oh my God. Okay, I think I'll speed this up because look at how I've got what another 20 minutes. But I'll say for Susan, she seemed to really care about Mary, and I have talked to Mary. I wanted to let her know I talked to her friend Susan and what she had to say, and I didn't ask about her case because I don't know. I don't want to know about her case. I ain't gonna mess up nobody's case. And but what I did say, don't take the rap for a man and think about your kids. And the only thing she said back to me is they got it all wrong. Okay. And then she told me why she was mad at Susan is because she threw her out on the street and she had nowhere to go. And there you have it. That's what Mary said to me.
Robert was like, what, you got something to say? And my husband goes, yeah, I don't like women beaters or child kidnappers. And I kept quiet and stood back from a distance, and Mary was here at the time, and she's like, are you going to say something, Susan? I said no, because somebody needs to tell him.
Yeah. A
So,
man needs to tell him, which a man did.
yeah, my husband, thankfully. So, and my husband and I, we've been married for 3 years now. Been together for 6 years, and
There we go.
got engaged for one. So,
Okay,
and I'm glad. I wake up every day, and I'm glad that I could wake up and not have to deal with a lifestyle that's like that, because that's something I don't even want my own daughter around. And I'm glad that she has somebody, both people in her lives that kind of shelter her from that type of drama and everything. She still is not going to be able to comprehend about the whole boys getting killed and why her Aunt Mary got involved. So we sheltered her from that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, so
I'm sure it's got to be hard on you guys.
it is. it affects more of my husband than anything because, like I said, he's known her since he was 18. So, and my husband moved out here from Modesto, California. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
so when he met her, he was like, "Oh my God, you gotta meet my friend Mary. She's awesome and everything." And I meet her in person. So you know what? She is awesome. Like she's got that energetic attitude and then that enthusiasm and everything. But when everything starts turning for the worst, she just completely shuts down. So
That's really sad.
yeah. So um, if she was here, if she was still here now, I think she would be talking. She would be talking to both me and Cody, asking at the time, like if she was here, she'd be asking what she should do about TJ. And my husband's opinion, he'd be like, "Well, kick him to the curb. You don't need to be around somebody like that."
Okay, the bodies were found the spot where they were fishing. Brandon had enough life left in him to call his dad crying for help. And his dad got there in time to get the names of the people that did this to him, and then he passed in his dad's arms. Now, from what Judd Grady said, he kind of went into details of the injuries to Kevin, Damien, and Brandon's body. So this trial is going to be horrible. And from what I've been looking at, I could be wrong, I'm going to look again. I'm thinking that TJ's is a separate trial than theirs. Let's see, I'm on, oh, hold on. Let's look here real quick. All right. May, June, July, September. I'm going to go back here. Oh, I'm looking. Hold on. Oh my God, the internet's slow. Or this website is actually. Okay. Here's what's going on in his case. Tomorrow, jury selection starts for TJ, the one that killed them physically. So I'm going to go back here. Because then it says a status hearing on September 8th. Hold on. Um, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. So this is weird. So what I've been noticing, okay, Robert and Mary have their next hearing on September 8th also. However, I think the times are different. Let's go look. Yep. Okay. So their trials are not together, you guys. Yep. It's at a different time. TJ's is at 8 a.m. and theirs are at 11. Which I was shocked to see that they're not together. But what the poor family's going to have to endure. I mean, even for Mary's side, because she's got kids.
You know, and not only that, she had a job. When I heard her first hearing, they said, do you have a job? And she had a job on top of it. And it's like, oh well, kiss that goodbye. That just went out the window.
Yeah.
So she had everything going for her and everything. And I don't know how TJ could sleep at night knowing what he did.
Because he's a monster.
Yeah.
He's just plain evil.
Yeah. Even Grady Judd said he's evil in the flesh.
Oh yeah, he was born. That one wasn't created.
Yeah, and I honestly, in my opinion, I wish Grady Judd was sheriff from my town and everything.
He's amazing.
He's awesome. He's just awesome. I love how he just like he throws a little bit of shade in, like with TJ, Robert, and Mary. He was like, well, duh, and I couldn't help but laugh. And I'm like, listen, this is supposed to be a serious time, and I'm not supposed to be laughing. But it's like he adds this little bit of like antidote of comedy in there to the whole thing, and it's crazy too because I had to go to Kissimmee for a medical appointment, and the driver that took me up there on the way home, we had to cut through Frostproof to get back to where I'm from, and we went right past that area, the area where they were killed at. Yeah, and they have a memorial there with flowers, crosses, posters, everything you could think of, and the arms on my hair and just stood straight up, and I had goosebumps, and I just got the chills, and I was like, oh my god, this is where it happened and everything. So it's like right out there by the entrance of it.
Right by the entrance, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That close to the road?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we drove right past the Dollar General where it all started. And it's like, at a Dollar General, really? You couldn't start it anywhere else, but
was that Dollar General, how far away was it from the lake?
I'd probably say about 10 to 20 minutes. Because the way everything is in Frostproof is it's like farmland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, parts of Florida, we have like farmland. We do get gators down here every now and then. But mostly it's people that have like cows and horses and everything.
Florida had cows and horses.
Yep. My husband, when I first met him, he was working as a ranch hand for his landlord on an alpaca farm.
Okay.
So, and I it's funny because I've always seen myself as like a normal girl getting married to somebody who lives a normal life, and I'm like, everybody goes, oh, well, you married a ranch hand, and I'm like, yeah, so I like the idea, don't get me wrong. They're like, oh, but you're around alpacas and they spit and sneeze and bite. I'm like, no, they're very sweet and everything. They're kind as they can be, but sometimes they could be real funny. They have their own little moments, each and every one of them. So and I think Mary knew Cody, my husband Cody, back then, when he was living on the alpaca farm. So. And she also knew my mother-in-law at that time, and this was before I came into the picture. So we kind of told my mother-in-law out in California what happened, and she's kind of sad about it because she really liked Mary and everything. So she considered Mary as a daughter. So, and I considered Mary as my own sister, and I still do from time to time. I do. It's just if there was anything that I could have prevented, I could have turned like if I had her on Facebook, I would have said, listen, if you want, you come over here, spend time with your kids here and everything before you go anywhere with TJ. I think she's learned her lesson at this point. So
I hope so. I hope she talks to save herself.
I hope she talks too.
And to help
to save herself.
And to help that family get justice. They will get justice. Perfect.
They will. And the thing is like I've been asked by people today as I've been out and about in public, and they're like, if you had anything to say to Mary now, what would you or your husband say? I said, honestly, my thing is, and I know she'll probably look back on this if they let her out, that Mary, what are you doing? What are you doing? You just buried yourself the first 2 times. You don't need to be around this person. They're negative toward, like, very negative energy on that point. 230 counts of things, not a good company to keep. There's love out there for you. If I would say that to Mary, there's love out there for you. You don't need to go looking into the wrong places for it. You just be yourself. Just like how you were with me and Cody. Be yourself. And that's how I would tell her. So,
yeah,
she's a good friend. Like I said, she's a good friend. She really is. Like
really good people.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, a
She
lot of
is.
people, they probably wouldn't even admit that they know her. But you know a different Mary from what we
Yeah. I do, and I've even asked some of her friends in high school how she was, and they're like, "Oh, well, she was a troublemaker in high school. I didn't talk to her much and everything." And I'm like, "Troublemaker, huh? That's not the Mary that I saw. That's not really." So, and she has the utmost respect for my husband too. So, you know, and we really do care. She doesn't think that we care about her, but in all aspects we do. So,
yeah,
you know,
well,
and
is there anything
and
else you want to say about her,
you know,
or
anything I wanted to say about her is she's the type of person that will give you the shirt off her back. And the last food that she has, excuse me, if she has it but you have nothing, she'll give it to you. Like even with my daughter, like there were times when my daughter she was just learning how to eat solid foods and she was getting fussy. She used to take her McChicken and break it in half and give it to my daughter Molly, and they shared that way. So my daughter has gotten a very close bond with her as well. And you know, I know when she gets out, it's going to be a lot on her in general. I don't care about the other two. I just care more about her than anything. And I know with being out and about now that the media kind of like depicts her as a monster, she's going to have to be prepared if she ever comes out into the real world that's what people are going to label her as.
Oh, yeah.
Even if she tries to prove that she's not. So
it'll give her some credibility if she works with the state to convict TJ.
I want her to. Mary, please, please. You know, if somebody that knows Mary is listening in on this, somebody's got to get her to speak up. And she's got to leave TJ. She really does. So, you know, like speak up. Don't incriminate yourself anymore.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the victims' families or anything?
To the victims' families, honestly, kind of feeling, that sinking feeling. I'm sorry of what was done to your children. I know how it feels to lose somebody that you're very close to, like not in the circumstances that you went through, but I know what it's like to lose a loved one. And you don't want their last words to be, you know, help me, help me, help me. And it's scary thinking about that. And I'd like to send my prayers to those families, to those three families. And, you know, I know that talking about Mary and how she was with me is not going to help the matter. And I know you have your opinions and your feelings are valid. And, you know, I hope you guys find the help that you're looking for and the justice that you're looking for. And my prayers and my family's prayers are always going to be with them no matter what. I mean, because I know what it's going to be like. You're not going to be able to, you know, experience having grandchildren and being able to, you know, not have grandchildren. It's emotional because you lost a piece of you. I agree with Grady Judd what he said. The worst part about, you know, nobody wants to bury their child. And how we think of it is, as parents, we always think that we're supposed to be buried before our children.
Yeah.
But to bury your child before you pass on, that's scary. And not having the funds to pay for their funeral is even more scary.
Yeah.
It really is at this point. You know, and if anybody can help them out, that'd be really great. Like send a donation like on
We got
they have it on Cash App. Yeah.
Yep. We got GoFundMe's too.
Yeah, they have GoFundMe's, Cash App, Venmos, things like that. To Grady Judd, you're an amazing sheriff. I wish you were a sheriff in my town. Because of my
I like
opinion,
a little humor in this though. You got to have little. I mean, I don't know how the victims feel, but when you're always like reporting or doing true crime,
yeah,
you have to have some humor in it.
Yeah, Grady Judd, you're the best sheriff that Polk County has. I wish you were a sheriff from my county. And I'm glad that you were able to take on the case with those three boys. And they deserve justice. Please don't let TJ walk out into this world. Please don't, because you're unleashing something that shouldn't even be unleashed. You know,
Yeah.
he deserves to be put away for what he did. And getting two people involved that shouldn't. Well, of course, Robert's going to follow his brother no matter what. But getting somebody involved that didn't really need to, and everything, you know, that's insane. You know, just insane as the whole thing. And I just wish to the families they could see, you know, see it from both sides and everything. You know, that Mary didn't mean any harm to them. That she wasn't even involved in the majority of it. Like I think, and just to see where Mary's coming from with it. You know, maybe she was forced into doing it. So that's the only thing I could say.
Well, yeah, we'll find out more during the trial and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I want to thank you, and you can reach out to me anytime. I appreciate you reaching out to me. What was I going to say? Like if I find out anymore, I'll email you.
Okay.
What else did I want to tell you? I'm sorry. There's something else.
Okay.
I'll fix that situation with your daughter. Make sure people know that's not her daughter too.
Yeah. Yeah. The pictures I sent you in the email that the little baby she was holding, that's my daughter. So
yeah, that was my mistake. I'm so sorry. Usually I'm pretty good about fact checking because, you know, I'm a nobody. I don't have a production team. I do my research myself. I do it as a hobby. You know, I'm a mom and I like to put out facts because if you're going to report this kind of stuff, you better come with, you know, don't give false, what's it? See, I don't even know how to talk right. But anyways, yeah. But you and your husband are amazing friends to her. She's lucky to have you.
thank you. I just hope I'm able to get in touch with her and say, hey, listen, I kind of did something that's good enough for you, for that matter, and everything. Because I don't see, at this point, I don't see any of her friends, the rest of her friends, you know, stepping up to bat for her. The only ones pretty much that would be me and my husband both. So, and I took the liberty upon myself to be like, you know what, here, this is how I saw Mary. This is how she was when, you know, we've hung out as friends. So, and like I said, the way the media is like, they're ripping her to shreds. Like, oh, she's a monster. She's not a monster. She's not. You know, the one who's a monster that you should be pointing fingers at is TJ. He's the monster. Don't look at her as the monster. He is. And at this point, I don't care what, you know, if the media gets a hold of this, I don't care. They could think what they want to think about me, but you know, it's like you weren't there to experience what type of person she was before she met him. So it's like, who are you to judge?
Yeah, I understand that part. Yeah, definitely. So, okay, and I just want to make sure, double check that I have permission to share our conversation.
Yes, you have permission.
Sure. Yeah, I told you I'm honest like that.
Right.
But I'm going to do some little researching for you because I can find out something for you. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Tell your husband I said hi.
Hey, babe. Kit Kat says hello. He says hi.
Have a good one, man. And thank you for reaching out to me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. I'll get this up so people can know the other side of Mary.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hold on here. Let me figure this out. All right.
So yeah, that was an okay one. Thank you for saying I was doing good, Karen. I have a hard time with it. However, I talked to her previous, like a few other times, so I kind of was not thinking, okay, what kind of question should I ask? You know what I mean? Because we already shared so much, you know, or she shared so much with me, I should say. Hi, my G. Thank you. So yeah, tomorrow is jury selection for TJ. I will be covering it. So just Robert and Mary's, it looks like they're hearing, yeah, they're going to be together, but separate. I'm sure it's separate, juries, for sure. Yeah, and see, that's why I like to talk to other people too. Mary just made some really bad choices. And who knows what Tony put in her head. And hopefully that she's not going to cover for him, because I do know that she's facing perjury charges. Yeah, this was in High Duty. This is in 2020. Yep. In my last stream I did, which I put the link I did with their last court hearing, I was a little more organized and explained the story better. I'll come in when I get to the house. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to get going. I've been on since 4, so I need to go eat. But thank you, everybody who was there for me, and anybody who watches the replay. I really appreciate you all. Love ya. Have a good one.